Bryan Meaker's Battle of Britain War Diary. The Battle of Britain holds a truly iconic place in the annals of British history, and for good reason. The importance of it was perfectly encapsulated by Winston Churchill in his famous speech. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Between 10 September and 31st October 1940, the fate of millions lay in the hands of a just few thousand men. With enemy forces amassing on the French coast, the only thing that stood between Britain and the threat of invasion were the men of Royal Air Force Fighter Command.
Between 10 September and 31st October 1940, the fate of millions lay in the hands of a just few thousand men. With enemy forces amassing on the French coast, the only thing that stood between Britain and the threat of invasion were the men of Royal Air Force Fighter Command.
Bryan Meaker's final diary entries, dating from 16 September 1940, were printed in a variety of British newspapers and offer remarkable insight into the mind and experiences of a young Battle of Britain pilot.
Monday, 2nd September. First day at our new station, leapt from our virgin couches at 0650. This shook me a bit. Was still slightly dopey when at 15,000 feet we sighted a solid block of 20 Dornier 215s with a large fighter escort. Attacked en masse, then dived away as fighters came down. Joined Butch again after a frantic tail-wagging breakaway and started after the bombers again. Suddenly we see a Dornier coming towards us, running for home. We jump on it. Butch sits on its tail, pumping lead at it. I do quarter attacks. He doesn't like this. Lumps fall off and smoke pours out. I'm awake now and feeling hungry. Butch says, "Don't waste any more ammunition on him. This guy's finished." The Dornier heads for Rochford. He is a wreck, rudders in ribbons and pieces falling off all the time. One guy comes out at 100 feet. Parachute streams, he hits the ground, bounces. Two more quick sorties, seeing nothing, and then more blitzkrieg on the fourth do. We run into a whole pile of ME, 110s and DOs. Too far to attack the bombers, so start mixing it with the 110s. They circle, and a lot come down vertically behind us. I lose Butch and everybody else as I turn round and round, watching my tail. Then a 110 rears in front of me, plain view, as he does, steep turn. Range is almost point blank as I turn inside and plug him. He disappears under my nose, and when I see him again, he is diving vertically, starboard engine and wing blazing. I feel very cocky again, look for the fight, and find it is out of sight. I go home and find that I've only fired 300 rounds. We sleep very soundly the Tuesday, 3rd September. Unsuccessful day. First sortie makes no contact. On second, whole squadron climbs like hell over base as we see a smoke ring over us as a bombing mark. Then we see another big raid 10,000 feet above us. We stand on our tails to them, not a hope. When we look down, we find the aerodrome obscured by a pall of smoke. Every bout scored, a lot of buildings wrecked, but only 3 casualties. Shocking to see the whole thing happen and not be able to do a thing about it. Small party in Epping in the evening. Stayed sober. Wednesday, 4th September. 2 scrambles, 8:20 and 12:30. No contact made and not fun at all. Just roaming around looking for Hun in the sun. Watched night bombers in the dark, parachute flares and AA bursts all over the sky. Slept well. Thursday, 5th September. Another big day. Over Thameshaven we met 25 bombers and scores of ME 109s. Fired at a DO-2 in 15, but had to break away when fighters came down en masse. Chased bombers for 10 minutes, but couldn't catch up. Came home and found Butch had bailed out and landed in a garden where a terrified woman looked at him and then ran into the house. No more action today. Friday, 6th September. Up in the morning over the Thames estuary to meet another raid. We nip in before the Hun fighters can get at us and do a quick flank attack. Fighters follow at once. I follow behind the bombers, watching 2 ME 109s coming behind me. Before they get into range, I turn sharp left and whip under them. Unfortunately, Crossy, who is following, gets plugged by one of these guys and has to crash land. I get into a circle with two 109s and shoot at the second. He starts to dive, so I pull the plug and chase him. Third burst sets him on fire, while of starboard wing and fuselage. We are down to 50 feet, so I leave him to burn and climb to 10,000 feet at full bore. Fighting is still going on, and two more 109s come for me. They work in pairs, and it seems fairly easy to number two. Again, I pick him out and we tear down to 500 feet. We race along the Pilgrim's Way, and I fire the rest of my ammunition into him. Both radiators stream glycol, and I can smell him burning. I formate on him with I finish my rounds, and he has his oxygen mask off, looking out at me. I leave him to go home and see him crash a few miles on. Going home, I see a parachute and circle it, a British one. Later it turns out that it was the CO who got shot down by 109s. In the evening, a party, then on to a dance with the boys of another squadron. Slept at Stapleford and stayed in bed till 9. Saturday, 7th of September. We have the rest of the day off, and a very good thing too. Squadron gets into the big London raids and loses quite a few. Redacted died in hospital, redacted missing, several more shot down and bailed out. Stooge and I drove down to Maidstone Hospital to pick up the CO. Coming back, we get to the Blackwall Tunnel when the trouble starts, raining down all round us. No time to get to a shelter. We stand under an arch and watch the bombers approaching in waves. Hear the bombs whistle down and the explosions. Molotov breadbaskets showers incendiaries round us, several in gasworks, which fortunately does not go up. Watch Cockneys put out one incendiary. Discover a gloomy type leaning against a lamppost who discloses he is waiting for the pub to open. The CO feels a bit hard done by, as he's been shot down and wounded yesterday, then gets bombed today. Redacted drives like a demon along a street and skids to a stop. Bus driver pulls up beside us and says, "Come on, nah, turn it up, mate. You're on the blinking floor this time." Laughter mingles with bomb crashes. We all have stiff whiskies in the Russell, go back in the dark via Hampstead Heath. Fires light up London, and fire engines are coming from all suburbs into the docks. Stop at a pub just outside Edmonton and get a riotous reception and lots of beer from excited public bar. I shake hands with everybody and get quite merry. Sunday, 8th of September. One short sortie in the evening, but saw nothing at all. The Monday, 9th of September. Again, no engagements, on patrol with 46, and we see 109s high above us, but they won't come and play. Wrote some letters. Tuesday, 10th of September. Cloudy day, blessed relief and lots of sleeping in the daytime. Went up in blue section and did cloud flying. Not a hope of seeing anything, if there had been anything there. Wednesday, 11th September. First sortie in the morning brought us head-on into a bunch of HE-111s. I do such a violent breakaway that I do an inverted spin. I lose 5,000 to 6,000 feet before I can get out of it. Can't find the fight at all after that, so I go home fed up, all set to get my own back at the second do, but all we see are one or two 109s miles away. No fun. Thursday, 12th of September. Another cloudy day and scrambling in ones and twos to try almost impossible cloud interceptions. I get madder than hell because wireless is no use every time, and I get home 3 times purely by good luck. Friday, 13th September. More pointless cloud flying exhibitions, wireless awful and everybody very testy about it, bombing and AA fire all the time as it was a beautiful night. Saturday, 14th of September. Trip down into Sussex with another squadron and saw more of our fighters than I've ever seen before. I got attacked twice and everybody split up and came home singly or in pairs. Those attacking me must have been 113, but every time I went to attack these guys, they were Spitfires. Most foxing. Sunday, 15th of September. 15th of September 1940 was the day on which the record number of 185 enemy aircraft fell to Royal Air Force fighters. The best day we've had. We go off at lunchtime with another squadron and meet 16 doos and lots of 109s. We go into the bombers, but Butch breaks early as he gets hit. I break with him, lose him. Then For the bombers, again. Meet them coming home and no MES in sight, so I attack one on the edge of the formation, get him straight away, and he leaves the rest of his boys. Follow him, plugging all the time. A quarter attack comes off beautifully, see bullets going in a line from the nose back to the tail at intervals of a foot all the way down. See that rear gunner is lying back in his seat, probably dead. Do is smoking like a chimney, can smell it from behind him. Oil comes back onto my aircraft and pieces fly past me. Then 3 blasted Spitfires horn in and drive me away from my own private and personal Dornier. One guy bails out from the Jerry, so I put eternal fear into him by diving straight at him and missing by inches. He has his arms folded and seems quite resigned. His ship crashes in flames and Spitfires shoot a line all around it, probably dropping visiting cards. I did this myself. See you in the Universal Brasserie 8:30 Saturday. They're getting quite a reputation for pinching a bomber when a hurricane has got it on the run. So I go home first and claim it before he can. Afternoon brings even better pickings. Again we attack the Dornier formation and break it wide open. They scatter all over the sky and go for the clouds. I get one straight away with a long burst. He catches fire and goes straight in chase. Another one in and out of the clouds. Port engine catches fire and goes out, and Butch and I claim him as a probable. Damned sure he was finished. Then I see 2 Me-109s behind me and whip around in a left-hand climbing turn. Horrid moment as I see his cannon winking at me, but he misses. Turn and start circling with the 2 of them. Gradually tighten the turn till I get a deflection shot at number 2 from above. See my bullets hit his left wing, and he is so shaken he dives into a cloud. Chase these 2 again and lose them. Then the 2 fighters coming straight for me. I think they're Spitfires, so I don't fire, dodge under them and find they are the same 2 yellow-nosed MEs. Annoying, because they make off and I can't catch them again. Most successful day for the squadron. A bag of 10 destroyed, 13 probable, and others damaged. Our loss is nil. My bag 2 destroyed, 1 probable, 1 damaged. Beginning to shoot a bit of a line. Celebration in the evening at Epping. The original 249 Squadron Combat Report for 15th of September can be found, along with thousands of others, in our British Royal Air Force Combat Reports 1939-1945.
Meaker's final entry was a particularly ordinary one, perhaps making it all the more poignant.
Monday, 16th of September. Scrambled out of bed in absolute confusion, cloud up to 20,000 and mighty clod. We see dozens of vortices, but no enemy.
Remembered as a lively and enthusiastic man, Bryan Meaker was buried with full military honors at West Dean Cemetery, in a plot next to one reserved for his parents. His family chose to write their own epitaph for his Commonwealth War Graves Commission headstone that reads, "These men were very good unto us. They were a wall unto us, by night and by day."